relationships are going through a phase of adjustments. Like Libra is the scale, so we're like weighing options, adjusting, making adjustments. It's like, how can we balance this relationship out, right? Do I need to give a little more? Do I need to pull back a little more? Maybe this relationship can't be resolved because there's too much disharmony. So there may be like forceful closures of relationships that are stuck, stagnant, and refusing to change, because these types of relationships can't stay, especially if you've evolved, right? Especially if your higher self is advocating for growth. There's something better. Maybe you've cleaned your emotional cup, renewal, purity. Your emotional cup is clean and pure now, so it can't hold these low vibrational frequencies of conflict and disharmony. So there's something way better, something that's healing, rejuvenating, regenerating. And it's like when our emotional cup is filled with love and purity, it results in the 10 of Pentacles, right? The 10 of Pentacles is wealth. Hi guys, welcome in. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whenever you are. I hope you're doing good. My name is Brianna, and today is April 1st, 2026. Happy April Fool's Day, everyone. And this is going to be a reading for the energy surrounding the full moon in Libra that's occurring a little bit later this evening, right? Into tomorrow morning. It really just depends on where you are in the world. I'm here in Georgia, and the full moon is going to be exact at around 10 o'clock p.m. So you can kind of just like take that information and adjust to your local time to see what time the full moon is going to be exact for you. So I have my notes here, so I will be just looking down at my laptop, so just bear with me, you guys. Energetically, I feel like we've been preparing for the grand release that is this full moon for some time now. If you think back to around 6 months ago, we had a new moon in Libra, right? So this full moon in Libra is going to mark the culmination of a 6-month, I want to say, karmic cycle. Libra is ruled by Venus, right? So over the past 6 months, we were working on and negotiating matters of love, relationships, partnerships, but also like money and resources and our personal value, how we attract, what we attract, and how we engage with others, right? So this full moon in Libra is going to be just like wrapping everything up, wrapping up that 6-month cycle, and then there's a result of everything that we've been working on. I feel like personally, as we got closer to this day, right, to this full moon, I'd say within the last 2 or 3 days, I feel like the karmic cycle that we are releasing now, the karmic cycle was turned up or like kicked up, and I want to say to like 1,000. It was amplified, and that's due to the moon's transition through the sky, right? So before the moon made its way into Libra, where it is now, it spent some time with the South Node in Virgo. And the South Node is the past, right? The South Node holds the energies, it stores the data from our past lives. So it's like karmic baggage, ancestral history, generational trauma. It's a point of release. So when the moon, our emotional subconscious, met with the South Node, it was as if we were being like pulled back into the past or back into a karmic cycle, even if we feel like this is a karmic cycle that we had already closed up, wrapped up. We were pulled back so that we could review. So 2 days ago, leading up into this point now where we are, 2 days ago, we were pulled back into this karmic cycle so that we could review, process, clean up, make sure, cross our T's, dot our I's, and then just make sure that everything was tied up. So here we are now at this full moon, and this full moon is a threshold, and if we use that time wisely, the past 2 days, now we're ready to release fully whatever this karmic cycle is. So this full moon is a gateway into, I want to say, ascended or more mature versions of whatever it is that we're releasing, right? Because we are ascended, right? We are more mature. So if we're releasing like an immature relationship, an immature partnership in the very near future, there's an opportunity for a higher or a more ascended version of this relationship that we're releasing. If we're releasing money, like an underpaying job, or just resources that aren't enough to provide comfort or sustain you, then in the very near future, there's an opportunity for maybe a job that offers more money. If we're releasing value like low self-esteem or low self-worth, in the very near future, there's a more confident version of yourself, right? So here we are at this full moon, ready to not only release, but to receive as well. So the full moon is a gateway into ascended and more mature partnerships, but not just partnerships with other people, because Libra rules the holistic principle of relationships and partnerships. And it talks about creating balance between you and something outside of you, right? It talks about creating balance between two or more things. So it's like creating balance in the way you relate to the things outside of you, or creating balance in the way you relate to all things. So because Libra is ruled by Venus, it's going to be focused on balance between you and like love, or like matters of love, money, resources, comfort, pleasure, and personal values. So this is what we've been working on and negotiating over the past 6 months. And now that we're here at this culmination point, it feels like a turning point. There's going to be a result, right? A consequence, a reaction for our actions. So this full moon in Libra is presenting us with a unique opportunity to release our emotional attachment to whatever this karmic cycle was, right? Whether it be a relationship with someone else, or environment, or a job, this full moon is giving us an opportunity to release our emotional attachment to it, so that we're freed up for whatever's coming in the very near future. So this is the end of something, you guys. This is like a turning point into something brand new. And just 2 days after the full moon, we have Mercury, which is our higher selves. Mercury is going to be making an exact trine to Jupiter. And Jupiter is the wheel of fortune. Jupiter is the wheel of fortune in the tarot, or Zeus, and it's like an energetic force that governs the cosmic clock, divine timing, and karmic completion. So Jupiter, it's going to be like Jupiter bestowing blessings and good fortune for positive efforts, actions, and choices. So it's like something that's owed to you. Jupiter is returning something that's owed to you, like an inheritance. It could be an inheritance of your resources that were like stifled or restricted by whatever this karmic cycle was. It's like we had to get through this karmic cycle to get to this point of receiving. It could be just like life force energy returning to you. Or the beginning of something new, maybe resources to begin something new, finances to begin something new, or life force energy to begin something new. This is what Jupiter is returning. So it's like blessings and good fortune for the choices that we've made, or the choices that we are making as the moon is full in Libra. Mercury is feeling inspired, hopeful, and optimistic, right? Because Mercury just completed a cycle or a process of integration and DNA activation through its retrograde, or during its retrograde. So when Mercury was retrograde, it was going through like this intense integration of higher self, higher wisdom, higher knowledge, clarity. It's like our soul's energy was integrating into our vessel, right? So that it can be expressed outward. It could have also been like insights, communication, wisdom, data, details from our higher selves about an inherited pathway, a spiritual pathway, about destiny, a destined pathway. We were receiving this data, right, from our higher selves about destiny, or Mercury was. So Mercury is moving in direct motion now, and it's going to be making a trine or in communication with Jupiter. And like I said, Mercury is feeling charged up with life force, right? More life force energy. So Mercury is optimistic about its meeting with Jupiter on Friday. And this meeting is going to be about justice, right? Fairness, balance, and what we're now ready to receive and align with. So the full moon that we're having today, you guys, it's going to be, or later tonight, it's going to be opposite Saturn in Aries. So Saturn is the test, and Aries is the new beginning. So we have Saturn opposing the moon in Libra, testing our capacity to make choices and take actions that establish or reestablish internal peace, right? So Saturn is opposing Libra, testing our ability to choose new pathways, or release old pathways that are no longer serving us, right? So Aries is the new beginning. So there is this new beginning, but Saturn is going to make us work for it, right? Saturn has to test us to see if we can make those tough choices to cut out, sever ties with what's no longer aligned, so that we can align with this new beginning, right? And in order to align with the new beginning, there has to be a frequency of, I want to say, neutrality, right? Neutrality when it comes to, or as it relates to, this past karmic cycle, where we're not emotionally triggered by it anymore. It's not good or bad, it just is, right? It's just a thing that happened. We learned from it, we grew from it, we gathered a lot of wisdom and data from it. Now we're pulling our life force energy out of this past cycle, so that we can first harness it, and then direct it into a new direction, right? So we have Saturn in Aries opposing the full moon in Libra, but Saturn in Aries is also sextile Pluto in Aquarius, right? So Pluto's influence may be intensifying Saturn's test, right? So Pluto rules the underworld, or our deep subconscious, right? Our deep, like, behind the scenes realm. Pluto houses our darkness, our deepest fears, and everything that we push away, or everything that we don't want others to see, right? It's like when we go to like face our demons and face our darkness, we do it in Pluto's underworld. So Pluto is communicating with Saturn, and Pluto is like, well, like if you're testing them, then like don't forget about this fear, right? Let's add this fear into there. Let's add this insecurity into the test as well, right? Like what about this weakness, right? So Pluto is sending all of these recommendations up from our subconscious to Saturn, and Saturn is then projecting these recommendations from Pluto at our moon, right? At our emotional subconscious. So all of these things are coming up to the surface, and it may feel messy, chaotic, uncomfortable, painful. It may feel, for me, it felt like I was like pulled back into a cycle of like really painful emotional trauma. So it may feel uncomfortable. You may feel like you've been pulled into an underworld. The intensity or the level of intensity is going to vary just depending on your level, right? Your rank, I want to say. Feels like the higher up you are, the more intense this test is going to feel, or the more intense these levels are going to feel, right? So Saturn is sending all of Pluto's recommendations to our moon, our emotional subconscious. So all of these things are coming up to the surface that we can confront, or so that we can confront them and decide what to do with them. Are we going to face them? Are we going to alchemize them? Or are we going to push them back into Pluto's underworld? I feel like now is an opportune time to negotiate or renegotiate terms with Pluto, right? Like, if it's like, actually, I'm not afraid of this anymore, or I've outgrown this, or like I've strengthened this aspect of myself, right? So maybe you have grown, so you're not relating to these energies that have been stored within your subconscious in the same way, right? You've grown, so you're not relating with these energies in the same way, and everything that you choose to let go of, it's going to be released with the full moon, right? So the full moon in Libra is presenting us with a unique opportunity to finally and fully release an emotional attachment to a karmic relationship. And remember that this doesn't have to be a relationship with a person, because Libra rules the holistic principle of relationships and partnerships, right? So it's like how we relate to other things. So this karmic relationship can be between you and a subconscious pattern, right? Or a job that doesn't fulfill you or pay you enough money, or even like an unhealthy environment, right? So when we release the emotional attachment to whatever this karmic relationship is, then we release the thing. We release the thing, right? But it first starts energetically. So whatever this thing is, its influence over you or its influence over your emotions has interfered with your internal balance. That's how you'll be able to identify it. It's interfered with your internal balance, and Libra wants to establish or reestablish balance in order so that you can align with healthier outcomes. It's like our sun energy or our solar plexus energy has to be healthy, bright, unrestricted, uncontained, in balance in order for us to align with healthier outcomes, right? This could even have a lot to do with your self-value, how you see yourself, how you view yourself, how you value yourself, right? So the moon is facilitating. So the full moon in Libra is facilitating a cord cutting or an energetic separation between you and something that no longer aligns, or something that doesn't accurately reflect your growth. It could be a group of people that you've been at odds with, an oppressive, restrictive, burdensome group Maybe there was a lot of fighting in this group, a lot of toxicity, or just the clashing of beliefs. There's a transformation happening. Something's being transformed, but not without your choice, right? Something is being transformed because your consciousness has evolved. So something is being transformed, released. Where was I? So the full moon in Libra is facilitating this cord cutting, right? So, okay. Relationships are going through a phase of adjustments. Like Libra is the scale, so we're like weighing options, adjusting, making adjustments. It's like, how can we balance this relationship out, right? Do I need to give a little more? Do I need to pull back a little more? Maybe this relationship can't be resolved because there's too much disharmony within this relationship or within this group. So there may be like forceful closures of relationships that are stuck stagnant and refusing to change, because these types of relationships can't stay, especially if you've evolved, right? Especially if your higher self is advocating for growth. There's something better. Maybe you've cleaned your emotional cup. Renewal, purity. Your emotional cup is clean and pure now, so it can't hold these low vibrational frequencies of conflict and disharmony. So there's something way better. Something that's healing, rejuvenating, regenerating. And it's like when our emotional cup is filled with love and purity, it results in the 10 of Pentacles, right? The 10 of Pentacles is wealth. So it's like when our emotional cup is pure and healthy, or being filled with pure energies, then it results in the 10 of Cups, results in rewards, money, because love is the frequency that attracts money, right? So there's an opportunity to align with an ascended or more mature version of whatever it is that you're releasing, and we did talk about that. The full moon is ruled by Venus. We talked about that briefly. So whatever you're releasing, whatever has come to an end, right? Maybe even a painful ending, there's something, it's going to be replaced with something better. So we talked about the full moon being ruled by Venus, the planet that governs value, wisdom, and intelligent love. Venus teaches us how to think with our hearts, right? And follow our hearts to soul satisfaction and emotional fulfillment. That's what these two cards are about, because when we follow our hearts, when we think with our hearts, it leads to everything. Because love is the frequency that attracts everything, right? Everything is attracted to love. So Venus just left Aries and entered Taurus on March 30th. We may have been like just flirting with new ideas about Venusian things, right? Like new ways to make like new ways to make love, new ways to make money, new ways to create comfort. We were just like flirting with these ideas. But now that Venus is in Taurus, right? Taurus is the sign that takes our ideas and inspirations and does something with it, right? Taurus is the first earth sign of the zodiac. So Taurus takes our ideas that we received, or it takes our life force, right? Our life force, and it puts it into action. So when Venus was in Aries, we were just flirting with new ideas, but now that Venus is in Taurus, now is an opportune moment to implement our ideas to see positive results, right? So it's like initiating the idea, planting the seed, taking those initial steps, it's going to result in a positive outcome. So seeding the intention in a material way is going to result in a positive outcome. Maybe the 10 of Pentacles, which talks about legacy, right? It's not just money, it's family, building a family legacy. So I feel like the advice is to follow the guidance of your heart. Follow the guidance of your heart. I feel like your heart has been purified by whatever this 6-month karmic cycle is, right? Now your intentions are more mature. Your intentions have matured and ascended. So your heart's been purified. So if you follow your heart, which is Venus, it'll align you with material justice, right? I want to say material justice because of Taurus and Libra. Taurus is the materialization of justice, which is Libra. So this is the opportunity within all of this mess, right? This is the opportunity. But for now, we are here at the full moon, still working on this conscious choice to release what's either out of balance or that which interferes with our balance, right? Because in order to attract and align with positive results, rewards, and outcomes, we have to be in balance. And in order to be in balance, we have to release all that is out of balance or interferes with our balance. So this is where like those tough choices come in. I feel like it's easier for us to detach from karmic relationships, people, and patterns when we can identify them as karmic or bad for our health. And the energies over the past week, they've been like making it very clear, like loud and clear, like this is the thing that needs to be released, whatever this is, right? I mentioned the moon's conjunction with the south node that happened about 2 days ago and how its influence helped us prepare for this release, right? This conjunction made a big mess. It was like our emotions were pulled back into the past to like face or reface old karma. I'm getting like time traveling, like the ghost of Christmas past. Maybe you didn't go anywhere physically, but your energy was pulled back into the past so that we could like feel and see and experience this karmic cycle or this pattern or this person that we've either already released or we're in the process of releasing, right? And I feel like we had to see it, we had to experience it so that we can choose, right? Or double down on a choice that we've already made. And it's kind of cool in hindsight when you think about like time traveling, like going back to the past, but in the moment it wasn't cool at all. I don't feel like it was cool at all. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand why I was being dragged back into like so much trauma and pain. I didn't want to feel it. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to experience it. But Spirit explained it to me as like a crash course or like a high dosage of karma for like quick alchemy so that I could quickly align with the release that is this full moon, right? So even though I didn't want to, it was gross. It didn't feel good at all. But even though I didn't want to, once I understood it, then I was able to like move through the energy, sort, release, process, clean up, and here I am, right? So the moon's conjunction to the south node in Virgo, it helped us see and feel what needed to be released and served as a threshold for quick processing, sorting, and integrating, all in preparation for this moment, right? This now moment. So here we are, you guys. Here we are. This full moon comes with profound clarity around a karmic relationship. So maybe it was painful, right? To see, to feel, to be illuminated about this karmic relationship. But now we see. And remember that Libra rules the holistic principle of relationships between two or more things. So it doesn't have to, yeah, the Hermit. Now we see. Now we see. So it doesn't have to be a karmic relationship with a person. It could be a relationship with a fear, right? A fear that prevents you from pursuing what you love or moving in the direction of your heart. So remember that the full moon is ruled by Venus, the planet of our soul's desires. So whatever this karmic relationship is or was, it's likely been in opposition to healthy growth, healthy love, a healthy flow of money and resources, or your ability to exist in comfort or peace, right? If you're still unsure about what to release, then the full moon will show you, right? It will be illuminated. So when the moon is full, the moon sits in opposition to the sun, right? And the sun and moon are creating like this push and pull dynamic between the conscious and the subconscious. That's what the Hermit is, conscious and subconscious. The behind the scenes and the known, right? So the full moon is creating a push and pull between the conscious and the subconscious, the known and the unknown. The sun wants to illuminate all that's been hidden or veiled and provide clarity to help us liberate ourselves from an emotional block, limitation, or illusion. I feel like it's important to remember that, yeah, the Three of Swords and the Devil. The Three of Swords is right behind the Hermit and the Devil. So this is that toxic bond, right? That toxic relationship that triggers painful emotions. It's a karmic attachment. You see now with the Hermit, you can see it now. And then we have victory, the Six of Wands, attainment of success, and then there's something better. There's something so much better. We have the Six of Cups and the Ace of Cups. Emotional regeneration, rejuvenation, and now your cup is clean. What a hell of a process, right? What a hell of a process. Spirit wants us to be mindful of manipulation, illusions, and sneak deals. Manipulations, illusions, and sneak deals. Just because we're done with the karmic cycle doesn't mean the karmic cycle is done with us, right? Just because we want to release this karmic cycle doesn't mean this karmic cycle wants to release us. So Spirit wants us to be mindful of emotional manipulation, painful emotional triggers that keep you bound to this karmic cycle. An emotional attachment is an emotional attachment, even if the emotional attachment doesn't feel good. So there may be someone or something holding on to your energy for dear life and sinking to methods of deception and subconscious manipulation to keep you attached. Three of Swords, painful emotional triggering, and the Seven of Swords, like sneaky trickster behind the scenes manipulation. The good news is that Venus is in Taurus, right? Venus in Taurus is exalted. She knows who she is. There's Venus right here. Venus in Taurus is exalted. She knows her truth, Ace of Swords, and she can't be easily manipulated. I mean, not Ace of Swords, but here's the Ace of Swords right here. Page of Swords. It's like discovering and grounding in your truth. Venus's truth has been grounded in, right? So she's not easily manipulated. But whenever we are working with the moon, it's important to acknowledge that the moon is a liability, because the moon casts an illusion, a veil of illusion of emotional confusion around the space it occupies. The moon casts a veil of illusion and confusion, emotional confusion around the space it occupies. That's because the moon governs our emotional subconscious. The moon governs our emotional subconscious and stores our emotional data. So this is going to be like emotional programming and tendencies, automatic reactions and instinctual patterns, how we respond to fear and uncertainty. It's like internal struggles and destructive habits. It's like generational trauma, lack, and depression. So the moon is like our blind spot, and if it's left unregulated or unchecked, it can act as a liability to our growth or a liability to what it is that we're manifesting. But not only that, if our moon is unregulated, it's susceptible to being manipulated through emotional triggers, right? Someone may trigger a wound or an emotional pain, and your moon energy like kicks up all of these thoughts, like intrusive thoughts, and that's like feeding whatever that negative attachment is. So now you're thinking about this negative attachment, now you're feeling this negative attachment, and you're marrying your energies, remarrying your energies with this negative attachment, with this painful attachment. So when the moon is in Libra, it casts a veil of illusion of everything stored within our emotional subconscious over everything that Libra governs. So Libra governs balance, peace, and harmony, intelligence, adaptability, and sound judgment, and our ability to discern, right? Discern the truths from the lies. Discern what is right, what is fair, and what is just with the Ace of Swords here. So just be mindful, you guys. Libra's mantra is I choose, which talks about our sovereign authority to choose the right relationships. But when the moon is in Libra, casting a veil of emotional confusion or emotional emotional densities over our ability to discern, we have to be mindful of making the right choices, right? All of the cards say that you're moving into clean emotions, clear emotions, pure emotions. In the tarot, the moon in Libra is the Two of Swords, which depicts a person sitting blindfolded under the moon, right? With like two swords across their chest. And this Two of Swords card talks about cutting away deception, illusion, and external projections to find inner peace, or like to channel higher wisdom, to channel clarity so that you can make the right choices. And after the Two of Swords is the Three of Swords, which talks about learning painful lessons in love and partnerships, and then choosing to move into peace, healing, and balance. So as it pertains to external illusions and manipulation tactics, the advice is to turn inward. You're moving forward with clear vision, or turn inward so that you can move forward with clear vision. I feel like everything is going well. This card keeps popping up, the Four of Wands. This card talks about like celebration, but it's also like celebration as a result of your stability, right? You're a strong foundation, a strong internal foundation, and this is something that you've built up on your own, right? You built this foundation, and there's a celebration. The celebration is for the manifestation of your desire. Something is manifesting based on the foundation, the core foundation that you've built up. So everything is going well, even if you can't see it yet. I feel like to align with clarity, there's the World, completion, success, successful initiation. Maybe this past 6 months was a process of initiation into whatever this is, right? Into this healthy, matured, ascended version of whatever it is that you're releasing, right? Successful initiation. Successful initiation. So, to align with clarity and higher wisdom, find rest and meditate. I had to do this myself, right? Because the past week or so, I'm still kind of feeling it, right? But the past week or so kicked up so much karma that I felt like I was like fighting for my life, right? And I feel like I'm just now starting to recover from it. I still feel like I'm moving in slow motion a little bit, but the advice for me was to meditate. Meditation will clear your mind of illusions and help you reconnect with higher wisdom or the wisdom of your spirit. Meditation will open a channel for cosmic energies to assist with the removal of harmful emotional attachments. It's like when you go under the knife for surgery, you're sedated, right? So when you're still, cosmic energies, divine intervention can like operate on your psyche and remove that which no longer serves you. So meditation will help you detach from this past cycle that we're releasing and align with whatever this new cycle is. I feel like it has a lot to do with maybe just like moving forward with the clean cup or someone moving in towards you, right? So meditation will help you release and realign. Meditation will help you detach from this past cycle and align with the new cycle that's orbiting your field. So you guys, under this full moon, move your life force. Move your life force into a state of relaxation and release. Move your life force into a state of relaxation of release. No, move your life force into a state of relaxation to release, right? Relax to release, but while you're releasing, you're also receiving, right? And in the near future, you'll wake up one day feeling like something has been removed from your psyche, right? Because as you were meditating, Spirit, God, Source, Infinite Intelligence, Creator was operating on you. So something will be removed, right? Or something has been removed. Maybe something that used to trigger you, it doesn't have the same effect because the frequency or the energy stored within you that was susceptible to being triggered is now removed, right? It's no longer there. So now you're energetically free to begin again, you guys. So that's all I have, but I'm just going to continue to pull cards to see if any additional messages want to come out. I haven't done this on camera in a while. I feel like pretty soon my life force will be like fully returned. Right now I still feel like I'm moving in slow motion. Let's see. The Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles. What else? There's that Four of Wands again. This is like the manifestation of your efforts. The Page of Pentacles talks about the Page of Pentacles is like the student becoming the master. For me, this talks about past energy. It's like being respawned into the game. It's like another opportunity to get it right, the Page of Pentacles. Another opportunity to get something right, to master something. So it's like respawning into the game with all of your resources, all of your knowledge and wisdom, and quickly moving through an obstacle, to reach success, right? To reach success. To reach stability, to reach this achievement, to reach celebration, the birth of a desire. What else? Just one more. Mask, hidden identity. Maybe your identity is being revealed. Distraction, attention thief. It says someone may be draining your energy or drawing your focus away from your intended target. Assess your priorities to identify areas where your focus can be applied more efficiently and where it may be overly concentrated. I feel like this is that like manipulative energy, right? So just be mindful of that. Be mindful of misdirecting your energy leaks. Be mindful of sneak deals, you guys. Sneak deals. If someone can trigger your subconscious, or if someone can attach to you through emotional trauma, even if the attachment doesn't feel good, it's still an attachment. So just be mindful. Time management. Be mindful of leeches. Something is accelerating. We've got acceleration, fast moving energy, quick momentum is propelling you forward. To sustain the momentum and avoid burnout, establish a consistent practice that helps you balance and ground your energy. That's going to be more of that Libra energy, right? Balance and ground your energy. But I feel like it's balancing and grounding your energy so that you can direct your life force in a new direction towards money tree. You guys see that? Money tree. Financial growth. Your money goals are within reach. The seeds of potential you planted and nurtured are now blossoming into tangible wealth. It doesn't have to be money. Could be love. Could be love. Someone may be watching you. A secret follower. Discovery. Someone may discover you from watching you. There could be a new contract coming in regarding work, career, finance. Master of disguise. Someone watches you every day. A secret follower watches you every day. But ground your energy, you guys. Move honestly, truthfully, stay committed, stay virtuous, do things by the book, but most importantly, ground your energy, because I feel like something is about to take off. Okay, that's all I have for this one. Thank you guys for being here, and I'll see you all on the next one.